Humans are higher animals and possess a variety of emotions. The interaction between humans is very complicated. Therefore, some people say that the simple emotions of humans and animals are not as simple as the intrigue between humans and humans. Today's story is indeed related to bears, and it comes from Russia. One day in 2016, there was a small airport called Orlovka in Pogliloy Gorodish, a small town in the Tver region. At dawn, a pilot of the Albatross Aviation Sports Club spotted an animal on the runway which looked like a kitten or a puppy because of the dark light and the long distance. But when it came closer, it turned out to be a little brown bear that was born less than a month ago. Little Bear ran for a while, lying on the edge of the track, curled up, sniffing. No one knows where the little bear came from. They guess that the nearby villagers handed the little bear to the hunter, but the little bear ran away. The pilot who picked up the bear was named Andrei Ivanov, and his hometown was in the Altai region. Andrei named the bear Mansour. Andrei held Mansour, and Mansour licked Andrei's fingers. At the beginning, they were going to hand over the bear cubs to specialized agencies such as zoos, but Russian zoos may lack other animals but bears. Then Andrei took Mansour to the house of Barznovi, looking for biologists Valentin and Svetlana in the Tver region. In the past 20 years, the Barznovi house has helped more than 200 animal cubs to return to the forest, allowing them to return to the embrace of nature, so Andrei also wanted to ask them for help. But after they tried several times, they found that Mansour didn't seem to be going back to nature at all. He seemed to prefer being with humans now. After that, Andrei called another organization. They said that Mansour could be taken in, so they informed Andrei of the address. Andrei took Mansour and gave them the bear. But a few weeks later, Andrei wanted to see how well Mansour was. They told him that visits were not allowed, and he was now somewhere in Ramenskoy. They also gave Andrei another phone call. They called and begged for a long time and promised to give some money. The other party told Andrei that Mansour was not in Ramenskoy, but was in Kaluga Place. This made Andrei faintly feel a little uneasy, and the more he thought about it, the more things went wrong. There is not a serious protected area, Andrei said in his heart. So Andrei quickly called Fidel Pazhenkov. Come on, we have to save Mansour and take your dog just in case. Fidel is the second person in charge of cubs besides Andrei. Andrei and his party of 4 drove 2 cars and went directly to Kaluga, where they found a local hunting expert, and he confirmed that a little bear had indeed been brought here. When Andrei and his party arrived there, it was not a protection station at all, but an old gas station. A short man asked Andrei, "What do you want? We want to get back our bear." The short said, "Okay." Andrei shouted, "Mansour." Then he heard the roar of the bear. Andrei hugged Mansour to the seat of the car, first found a small pond where he bathed Mansour and fed him food. Mansour was obviously in a lot better condition. Andrei discussed with Fidel the bear is safest only if he keeps it by himself. So he drove in the car and took Mansour home, which was more than 500 kilometers away from Andrei and their station. Mansour likes to ride in the car. He looked out the window quietly, but when he got to Moscow, traffic jams began. The cars and people made Mansour nervous. Andrei had to distract Mansour in various ways, give him a yogurt every 10 minutes so that he will be a little behaved, and finally return to Orlovka after a hard journey. After that, Mansour and Andrei lived together. In the bear's heart, Andrei was his family, and listening to the roar of the plane every day, Mansour gradually got used to this sound and would not be afraid. It is important to feed Mansour because it keeps the bear in a good mood. Andrei cooks 12 liters of porridge for Mansour every day. In the summer, Mansour eats buckwheat, rice, cheese, and eggs, but the taste of the bear is also changing. Sometimes he likes raw eggs, sometimes he likes cooked ones, and he likes fruits and vegetables, especially watermelon and grapes. In order to ensure the life of Mansour, Andrei built a big iron cage for the bear, installing a sliding door, and covered it with hay to keep it warm. Together with many volunteers, he separated a large area with iron fences and built a swimming pool as an activity place for Mansour. In order to better raise the cubs, Andrei also consulted professionals from circuses and animal rehabilitation centers. The circus said as long as you feed it well and don't hurt it, everything is okay. The rehabilitation center also said that Andre provided a very good environment for Mansour and suggested that Mansour should be more vegetarian, which is good for the body. In this way, Mansour grew up day by day. It became more sensitive because of what happened when he was a child, so he only allowed Andre to approach him. It really saw Andre as his father. Over time, Mansour and Andre's dog Husker became good friends. The bear and Andre live together, which is much safer than living in the forest. There are hunters in the forest. While in captivity, regular medical care can be carried out, and the lifespan of animals is usually longer than in the forest. With age, Mansour's weight is also increasing, and Andre also wondered whether Mansour could return to live in the forest, but he has been around humans since he was a child, and Mansour may have lost his wild instinct. Mansour is now 5 years old. Even though his weight has reached 300 kilograms, in Andre's eyes, he is still the little baby that he first saw on the airport runway. It takes a lot of money to raise Mansour, but since the story of Andre and Mansour was posted on the internet, many kind people have provided help, donated money and materials so that Andre can better raise Mansour.
If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it with your friends and family. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one.